Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Awana Club and another Awana episode. I hope you guys have been enjoying your evening so far and have been both having fun learning about the Lord and spending time fellowshipping with your friends. With me tonight is my friend and our friendly neighborhood dumpster rat and co-host, Mr. Chuckles.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Awana. It's great to be back this week and being able to dive into a Bible lesson together. Speaking of Bible lessons, what is our lesson for tonight, Justin?
Diving right into it indeed. Well, our lesson comes from the book of Judges. We're going to spend some time talking about just one of the judges.
Which judge are we talking about? Oh, please say it's Shamgar. Please say it's Shamgar. Pretty please.
Shamgar? The judge Shamgar in Judges chapter 3 at the very end? Mr. Chuckles, there's only one verse about Shamgar.
No, I know. There may only be one verse, but it is epic.
Well, it says here, after him was Shamgar, the son of Anath, who killed 600 Philistines with an ox goad, and he also saved Israel. Mr. Chuckles, that's all we know about him.
Well, there's a lot in that one verse. He killed 600 bad guys with an ox goad. That's just insane. He basically had a long stick with a pointy end, a little like a spear, and a little metal poker sticking out one side, and he fought and defeated 600 men. Oh, I don't think I could do that. He was quite a warrior.
He sure was, Mr. Chuckles. But he isn't the judge that we're going to be talking about this evening at Awana. We're going to be talking about the judge Samson.
Samson? The Samson? You know that story takes up 4 entire chapters. We couldn't even read his entire story in the few minutes we have. How are we going to get through his whole story?
Well, you are right, Mr. Chuckles. We don't have enough time to talk about the entirety of Samson's story, or the entire section that he's mentioned in, but we can tell a summarized story and then look at least one area and see what God is teaching us in it.
Well, I guess that makes sense. I still think Shamgar would have been an easier one to go through. Only going through one verse, that is.
Well, it may be easier to read all the verses, but I think we probably can learn just a little bit more from the 4 chapters God has given us about the judge Samson. How much do you know about Samson's story, Mr. Chuckles?
Well, I think I know his story fairly well.
Great! Well, do you think that you would be able to give us your summary of Judges chapters 13 through 16 and the story of Samson?
No, I sure can. Oh, let's see here. I have your Bible here. Well, in Judges 13, we learn about Samson being born. His mom couldn't have children, and an angel of the Lord showed up and told her that she was going to have a baby, and that he was going to be a Nazarite.
Mr. Chuckles, do you know what a Nazarite was?
Well, a Nazarite is someone who is set apart for God. And he was set apart by not drinking alcohol, letting their hair grow long, and later in number 6, not touching dead bodies.
That's right, Mr. Chuckles. And so God told his mom not to drink alcohol, not to touch anything unclean, and not to cut her son Samson's hair.
Yup. Well, so his dad wasn't so sure who this angel of the Lord was. So he prayed, and God answered him by sending that same angel again. The angel repeated all of the same stuff he told his wife again to both him and his wife. And then his dad worshipped by making an offering to God, and then the angel of the Lord ascended in front of them in a flame of fire back up to heaven.
Oh, I love this part of the story. Well, his dad wasn't too sure who this angel of the Lord really was. And so he prayed to the Lord, and God answered him by sending that same angel again. And the angel repeated all the things that he had told to his wife, to Manoah. His dad worshipped the Lord by making an offering to him. And then, when the fire from heaven fell down, the angel of the Lord that went up in the fire to heaven, back into heaven when the offering was burned up. It is so incredible.
Whoa! Well, that's amazing.
It really is really cool. But I should probably let you continue to tell the story, Mr. Chuckles, shouldn't I?
Yeah, well then, he grows up, and he wants to marry a Philistine girl, which his parents aren't so thrilled about, because she's not of the same Jewish culture and upbringing. But they agree and plan a wedding, and Samson kills a lion on his way to see her. And then at the wedding, he proposed a riddle, and when the guests couldn't solve it, they forced his fiancée to find out and tell them the answer.
Ooh, that is probably not going to end very well, is it? Was Samson mad when they guessed or figured out the riddle?
Oh boy, was he! He knew that they got the answer from his bride, and so he left in hot anger. And then he went to pick up his bride later. They hadn't really finished getting married yet, you know. And then he found out that she married his best friend. So now he was really angry, and he burned the Philistines' crops. And he did it by catching 300 foxes, tying them together in pairs, and tying burning torches to them, and letting them run wild and burn the fields all to the ground.
Oh, I bet the Philistines were pretty mad about that.
Oh, they sure were, and so they tried to capture him. But he broke free, and he killed 1,000 of them, even more than Shamgar did.
Wow. So, it's more impressive than Shamgar then?
Well, I guess. So then, he fell in love with another girl, but this girl was a little tricky. She kept trying to figure out how he was so strong and kept beating everybody. And after asking him over and over and over and over again, he finally told her about the Nazirite vow. And so, when he fell asleep, she cut his hair and broke his vow, and so he lost his strength, and the Philistines came, and they paid the girl a lot of money, and they captured Samson, and they poked out his eyes and made him blind.
Oh, man. That's terrible. Well, then what happened?
Well, once his hair grew back, he was in their temple, and the Philistines were mocking him. And he prayed to God, asking for strength just one more time. And he pulled down all the supporting pillars, collapsing the temple on the Philistines, and killing 3,000 Philistines.
3,000 Philistines? He pulled down and collapsed an entire building? Wow.
Samson died in the collapse, though.
Wow. That's still really, really amazing. It's unfortunate he lost his life when the temple came down, but wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I guess. His story's as cool as Shamgar's. But now, what was the part that you wanted to focus on tonight?
Oh, you're right. I think we got a little carried away with covering 4 chapters of the story. Well, if we go back to the very beginning, and we read in Judges chapter 13, verse 12, his dad asked the angel of the Lord a really, really good question.
What was the question?
Well, let's read it. In Judges 13, verse 12, it says, And Manoah, Samson's dad, and Manoah said, Now, when your words come true, what is to be the child's manner of life, and what is his mission? See, his dad had faith, knowing that his words would come true, and he asked how his son, Samson, was going to live his life, or how he was supposed to live his life, and what his son's mission was going to be as a man here on earth.
Why is that a good question?
Well, it's a good question because, firstly, it's a dad's job to prepare his children for the future. Helping their children, or in this case, Manoah helping his son Samson grow in his faith, grow in character, get stronger, smarter, tougher, wiser, put him in situations where he has opportunity to grow and opportunities to fail and learn from those failures. His dad cared enough to ask God what he was supposed to prepare his son for.
Whoa, that is really, really cool.
Yes, I find it really cool and helpful as a dad myself. But that verse also implies that God had a very specific plan for Manoah's son, Samson. Samson, who throughout his life made some good and some bad decisions and had some really big character flaws and follies, was still going to be used by God to save God's chosen people, Israel. And that means God had a plan for Samson, even when he had good things and bad things about his life and his character.
He sure did. Even when things went wrong with his wedding, God still used it.
Yes, and that is because God works all things for the good of those who are his and are called according to his purpose. And that also means that God has a plan for you. For you, Mr. Chuckles, for you, Awana Clubbers, for me, for all of us. He knows each one of us from before we were born. He knows everything that will ever happen to us. Everything from birth all the way till our lives end at death. And even when we go through hard things, like Samson, and he failed, and his failed wedding, when things are tough, even when we make big mistakes, like Samson and the girl who tricked him, God can use it all. He can use every part of our lives, the good and the bad. So he has a plan for me, for you, Mr. Chuckles, and for all of you, Awana Clubbers.
That's really, really cool too. When I struggle, when I fail, when I succeed, or when I feel good, or when I feel bad, God has a plan for and uses it all. I think that's really comforting.
It really is. Now, that's the lesson that I was hoping to touch on today. That God uses everything, the good and the bad, in our lives, whether it's our fault or someone else's, and he uses it for his own glory and for our benefit.
Well, I know I'm going to try and remember that truth this week.
Amen to that, Mr. Chuckles. May all of us try to remember that God uses all things for his glory and for our benefit, the good and the bad, the ups and the downs, the fun things and the hard things. Let us remember that as we go about our lives this week. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight, kids. Good night, Awana Clubbers.